talk a lot about our favorite TV programs growing up. But over time, those images and dialogues start blending together into a pixelated mesh. It's like looking at something from really far away. The image is all blurry. You can't see it clearly. Now let's look at it closer. You can see the fine lines and details in the programs. You can see the commercial breaks. But what's this forgotten thing at the dark edges of your memory? Something that goes bump in the night? Yes, these are the things you saw ad nauseum, to the point in which they are as much a part of your childhood as your beloved cartoons. These are the commercial bumps.
Things that go bump in the night. Give me a terrible fright.
Obviously, I'll be focusing on the bumps that I viewed as a young whelp growing up in the late 80s and early 90s. And of all the time slots, I cherish the time I spent in the Saturday mornings the most. It was a magical time slot. Your parents were still asleep or hungover or dead or whatever. So being the only conscious creature in the house capable of operating the channel changer, unless you had a very smart parrot, you had your choice over programming. Cartoons, 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 or off-putting live-action shows. Ugh. Now unfortunately, networks are whores, and they advertise products to young children. But like good whores, they turn good tricks. And by good tricks, I mean ways to keep you watching. Back in the old days, a disembodied voice would simply say,
"We'll be right back."
But that doesn't work with children. It must be bright and flashy and obnoxious. So ABC commissioned Olive Jar Studios, creators of The Noid, to create 3 seconds of subtle insanity. Being the early 90s, claymation was in vogue. For some reason. Thus we got this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
A catchy song sung by creatures of inhuman origin with rubber spines and detachable heads.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
With claymation, anything is possible.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
In claymation, Hydrant pisses on you.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
That's why Midnight Cowboy doesn't travel with a horse. He travels with a Dustin Hoffman.
I'm walking here.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Remember, claymation is the process of moving a 3D object one frame at a time. So somewhere along the line, an animator had to look at this image and say to himself, This is what I do for a living. I regret nothing. CVS Kids had a different approach. They used a preconceived character that had been born literally of a bar napkin. His name is Fido Dido. I hate it. And he is an amalgamation of bad 90s fashion. He's wearing a baggy shirt with his own image printed on it. What a tool. He looks like a mix between Doug and Dagwood. Dugwood?
Garfield and friends. We'll return after these messages.
Hey, leave that clown alone. You don't know where it's been. It might be a killer from outer space.
And now back to Garfield and friends.
This takes me back to the days when we'd all crowd around the one TV in the house. As opposed to now, where there's a TV on everything. Even the damn fridge has a TV on it. But Fido Dido did have a way with the ladies. Somehow. I suppose they like stick figures. He would marry a hot blonde flapper, and then he'd grow up to have a thing for sandwiches and napping. Fido Dido, you are now Dugwood, because Fido Dido is terrible. I recall Fox Kids had many bumps over the decades. Too many to count in one sitting. We might cover the rest in a future episode. But my all-time favorites were the ones that looked like they could be decent programs in their own right.
Speak, Lofi. Speak. We'll be right back.
Forget watching more Garfield. I want to watch more of that morbidly obese, disobedient hound doggy. Ha ha ha, wasn't that funny? Now back to that terrible cartoon where Bruce Willis is a kid. It's not as cool as it sounds. Trust me on this.
We'll be right back. Oh my.
I'd like to see what other wacky hijinks that sheep gets into. But no, I get to watch more of that Siegfried and Roy cartoon.
He always go on like this? He could almost talk the legs off a horse and then convince us to take him for a ride.
Damn it all, who approved of this anyways? It was around this time in the early 90s that Fox realized what a gem it had on its hands with Batman, the animated series, one of the best cartoons ever made. So they dedicated an entire afternoon block to it and titled it Action Theater.
Welcome to Fox Action Theater.
Exclamation point. That little intro would not have been a bad show in itself. The bumps, on the other hand, were very jarring.
We'll be right back.
Too much clip art for one screen. Alright guys, clear out. You're not welcome here. Now eventually Fox Kids started to integrate action-oriented bumps into its block, starring such figures as Captain Copyright Infringement.
Now back to our show.
Don't be surprised if 20th Century Fox starts to shill out movies starring this character.
Now back to our show.
Actually, it might be better than Superman Returns.
We'll be right back.
At least the humor will be intentional.
We'll be right back.
We also saw the adventures of Chuck Norris.
Back to our show.
His greatest enemy has always been hipster irony.
Now back to our show.
Fox Kids programs began with an interpretation of the Fox logo, integrating characters from the preceding show to remind you of what you were about to watch, because evidently the opening theme was too unclear and vague. What show was that? I couldn't tell. Oh, the Texas Ranger show. I love this show. The never-ending battle of good versus hipster irony. There were many versions of this Fox logo concept. Here is one of the earliest versions.
Everybody knows it's on Fox.
It's really surreal seeing a Warner Brothers character doling out Fox. That's like seeing Fido Dido drinking Coke or Pepsi or Cheer wine. But the intros were always enjoyable in what the hell, a Bill and Ted cartoon. This was a weird channel. This was a weird time. But we'll cover that in a future broadcast. And finally, we'll take a look at USA Cartoon Express, which I caught a passing glimpse at every now and again at my cousin's house. You see, we were poor. We didn't have cable. But let me tell you, this was every kid's fantasy, to ride on a train with your favorite cartoon characters, eating pizza with the Turtles, hanging with Scooby and Shaggy, leering at Janine from The Real Ghostbusters. But I do not trust the engineer. I think he is drunk or high and will put us all in peril.
I'm Hudson here, your engineer.
It's time for cartoons right now, right here. And all the rest on the USA Cartoon Express.
Also, the train seems to be a dog for some reason, and he fetches Egon.
So, you've made some improvements.
That'll do, train doggy. That'll do. Before this format, though, they had a very generic animation.
It's sniffing time. Yeah, as we speed down the trail with more detective hilarity with old reliable Hong Kong Phooey.
Sound familiar? It's Keith Olbermann getting very excited about Hong Kong Phooey. And these are the worst bumps in the world. I'm just not feeling pompous enough today. They will remain with you forever, etched in your mind because you saw them so often. Long after you've forgotten the programs, you will find yourself humming.
After these messages.
They are images that will remain with you forever, whether you like it or not.
Muffin time. Chuck Norris a source.
Damn hipsters.